All right, today we're going to talk you through how solar works. So you can see we've got the solar panels that have been installed on the roof. These ones have been up for a year or so now. The sunlight hitting those is producing a DC current. So our homes run on AC current. So next we're going to go and take a look at what happens from here. So where do the wires go? How is this actually getting down to the service panel? And how do we change that from the DC power to the AC power that our home actually runs on? All right, and so we're now on the side of the garage from where the panels were located at. And so as you can see up here, out of the attic over the garage, punched a hole there. Don't worry, that's all sealed up and runs in conduit the wire down. Now, this here is a microinverter system. So the inverters are actually underneath the panels up there. So that's where the power is being transitioned from DC to AC. And then it's ran through this conduit down. The other inverter option is a string inverter where basically would look the same here, but you would just see a different box on the side of the building. Instead of the inverters being up top like they are in this one, there would be an inverter here. So what we're actually looking at now is the in-phase, the microinverter combiner box. So this is where all the power comes in. Come on in here, you can see this has strings in it there. You can see there's an additional one that's not currently being used there. So there could be additional solar that would run into this. Okay, but these are the breakers for the solar there. This is the wireless communication device that then puts the app right on your phone so that you can see how the production of the system's working at any given time. What you'll see next is the conduit runs over to a switchblade shutoff here. And this is just so that the power could be disconnected coming from the solar panels in the case of an emergency, right? So firefighters, this all has to do with fire code. Firefighters have to be able to get up on your roof if they need to. You want to make sure that they're not going to get electrocuted. So that's just a simple shut that thing off right there. It just has to be within 10 feet of the electric meter, which you can see right over there. Now this one's got a couple extra conduits running. You can see because it also has a battery connected to it. And we're going to go in and take a look inside the basement where these conduits are going into then for that battery connection. All right, so now we're inside in the basement. You can see we've got conduit lines running in here, running into the system controller. Okay, so this piece of equipment is one that actually with the systems, most of what we do now is not required. So you can look at if you're limited on space. One of the great things is they put hybrid inverters in where they actually will combine this inside the inverter or inside the battery so that there's less big equipment on your walls. So this particular home, we have your main service panel, then they already had a sub panel here for the battery. It's over here. So this is a smaller, it's a 5P battery, so just 5 kilowatt hours worth of power. So what we did was a critical loads panel down here. Okay, so we pulled out loads from the main panel. We said in a power outage, these are the loads we want to back up. Okay, so there's just a few loads in that since it's a smaller battery. Again, now most of the batteries that you're going to look at are going to be larger. We're going to back up more loads, but you basically have two different options. We can back up typically on one battery that we sell these days is 8 loads. And then if you want to go whole home, where we just back up this whole service panel, everything in your home that's on electric, then you'd be looking at a 2 battery system. And that's all became much more cost effective than this particular setup. But power is running in from here, hits here, hits your service panel. So you connected then with the battery. It's also hitting here and then connects to that critical loads sub panel. And then the power outage situation, homeowner does not have to do anything, right? The power goes off and immediately this battery kicks in and the loads that we put in that panel right down there is working. So those will just immediately kick back on. So they're keeping their fridge, freezer running, no worries of running out of food, their food going bad there. They've got lights. You could also have like the blower on your heater, all those types of things up and running in that critical load panel. So that's the basics of the setup, from the solar on the roof down to where it connects outside into the whole setup with the battery backup here in the home.